Hello, fans. T-Spin here once again, bringing you my thoughts. So this is just going to be a however long video of myself speaking about some current issues here. So let's dive right into it. Let's start off with Richard Spencer. Alright, so Richard Spencer is apparently some form of white nationalist. From what I can gather, his ideology is that he feels that races should have their own nations and that different races ultimately cannot get along. People claim he advocates for genocide of certain races. I haven't been able to find that, so I'm not sure about those claims, but either way, he was at a rally, and he was straight up cold-cocked by some person. Just came out of nowhere and punched him right in the face as he was being interviewed. So let's give that a watch.
No, I'm not a neo-Nazi.
You like black people?
Well, why do you,
Yeah, sure.
why do some neo-Nazis love you if you're not a neo-Nazi?
Neo-Nazis don't love me. They kind of hate me,
Following
actually.
the KKK, neo-Nazi.
Those people don't like me,
Are you
to be
like
honest.
the hipster version of the neo-Nazi movement?
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, and here's the problem here, and this is what I've been deeming Nazi panic. So the Nazi panic here is people are labeling. People on the left are labeling people on the right as Nazis. They're trying to label certain Trump supporters as Nazis. They're trying to basically lump everybody together as being Nazis if they're, supportive of what's called the alt-right. And the alt-right is not racist. It's not white supremacist. But there are people who I think might actually believe in that have taken the alt-right movement and gone their own way with it. But it's just like Black Lives Matter. It's kind of like the Black Lives Matter people say. Yeah, the ultimate goal of the official Black Lives Matter is stated as to try to bridge division and fix racism and blah 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 blah. But then when you actually see the social ramifications and effects of Black Lives Matters and their propaganda and the way that they're portrayed in the media, you can see how damaging it is. So even though it's not, Black Lives Matter to blame when certain things happen, you can say that there is potentially a correlation in what Black Lives Matter does. And what people do then in response, kind of like how that guy that shot those 5 cops in Dallas, I believe, said that he was inspired by Black Lives Matter, and those five cops died, I believe, so that was pretty horrible. Murder's awful. But anyways, so yeah, it's wrong to just enact violence against people, just like it wasn't right for that guy to murder those 5 cops. It wasn't right for this person to punch this guy in the face. If you disagree with a person, you tell them that you disagree with them. You use your words. This is a civil society, or at least it's supposed to be. I don't know what people are thinking, engaging in violence in the manner that they are. So that's what's happening right now. People are trying to justify violence against their opponents, people on the left, by labeling their adversaries as Nazis. And here's the further humorous thing about this, even though it's not really funny. The Nazi Party is the NSDAP, the National Socialist Deutsches Arbeiter Party. It's the National Socialist German Workers' Party. So it's socialist. They have a 24-point plan that outlines their socialist agenda, which includes control of the means of production by the state. So when people say that these people here are Nazis, it's, firstly not true for the fact that they're not operating, under the Nazi regime. They don't have Nazi uniforms. It doesn't matter if they give the Nazi salute or not. That doesn't mean that they're a Nazi. But furthermore, they don't even support the Nazi ideologies. They don't support all 24 points of their plan. Especially not the socialism part, because they're capitalists. They want to be able to make their own money and have freedom that way, economic freedom through capitalism. So it's kind of audacious that these people would call them Nazis. It's beyond absurd, really. But that's usually how it goes. What I believe is happening in reality is projection of fascism, because these people can't tolerate other people's viewpoints or ideology, so they're using violence to suppress their opposition, and that's the definition of fascism. And they're calling and screaming their their opposition that they're fascist. So I believe that in reality, the people on the left that are trying to call people Nazis are actually themselves fascists, as outlined clearly in their behaviors and their actions. So moving on from the Nazi hysteria point, let's move on to the KKK hysteria point. Oh man, for some people, it's like the KKK just never went away, even though I think they very much did, because if they actually had real power in our federal government, why would there be a black attorney general? Eric Holder has been the attorney general since like the late 80s. I don't know exactly when he became attorney general. I'm not going to look it up. But, it's been for quite some time. And then, it was only until recently that he got booted under Obama's administration for the Fast and Furious scandal, where they were caught dealing arms, which were then sold to Mexican cartels, which were then, used to murder 2 of our border agents, I believe. And they've been used in other crimes as well, I think. So that was pretty horrible. That's why he resigned. He should have been indicted and jailed, but, maybe we can still get him somehow. With Trump as president now, we can make America great again and right the wrongs of these horrible people that were in our government. But yeah, why would the KKK allow Eric Holder into now Loretta Lynch? Why would they allow Barack Obama? Why would they allow Thomas Clarence, or I think that's his name, Clarence Thomas? Well, I think it's Thomas Clarence, the Supreme Court Justice. Why would they allow black mayors? Blah blah blah, etc., etc. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the KKK existed. They did have positions of power, but it seems that they don't really have any of those positions anymore. If you can show me where they're at, like seriously, let's get rid of them. But I don't know honestly where they're at. There was this person that was always being like, "Oh man, you know where the KKK is at around here," and it's like, they're not, man. Like, are you kidding me? So yeah, there was a lady on a college campus, and she saw a microscope through a window. I'm gonna try to scorch my face. See if we can see the story behind me. So she thought that she saw a KKK meeting in progress, but in reality, all this person saw was a microscope with a cover over it. So people see things like crazy, and some people, they're always looking for certain things. So it's like, if you're looking for the KKK everywhere, you might just find them. But it's ridiculous that these people are so short-sighted and just so inculcated in their indoctrinated worldview, where everyone is racist and out to get them, that simply looking through a window and seeing a microscope with a cover on it results in them thinking that they're looking at a KKK person. Like, if that's actually legitimately how it went down, and they're not just trolling for the laughs to see if how big of a story they can make out of something that's trivial and stupid and ridiculous. If they're actually being serious, they really thought it was a KKK person, then that just goes to show how absolutely just out of their minds certain people have become in our society due to the indoctrination that mainly takes place at these, quote, institutions of higher learning. They're really just indoctrination centers, these colleges and such. So it's terrible that there's so many people that are, this just taken over by these nutty worldviews that they think they see KKK people on college campuses like that. The other thing that these people are doing with the whole Nazi thing is they've engaged in this, whole sloganeering campaign saying, "Oh, my grandfather punched Nazis. Punching Nazis is okay." So these people, they will go to any length to justify their worldview, to justify how they perceive things as being, and it really is just deplorable how they behave. There was a person who became violent at a rally and ended up being shot because he was attacking a person, and a group, 2 other people eventually, it looks like, join in. The person's trying to flee the whole time, and as they keep on attacking him, he has no choice but to defend himself. He reaches into his coat, pulls out a gun, and lets off a shot right at the person that was attacking him. So I knew for quite some time that the violence that is, happening at these rallies and protests was eventually going to get out of hand to the point where a person gets shot due to a person, shooting in self-defense. Because the thing is, this person was released by the police, and at first, the details apparently weren't clear as people were reporting it. It seemed, I saw a story that said, well, a leftist shot a leftist, they're so blinded by hate they couldn't even distinguish between each other, blah, blah, blah. But it turns out that really it was a Trump supporter that shot the person, but it was a leftist who was attacking the Trump supporter. And as I was conversing with a friend, he presented the idea that perhaps that was done on purpose. They presented the story, as a leftist shooting leftist at first, so that way when the facts really come out, and it's, that the fact that a Trump supporter, was one that got shot. If you were at first telling people the story and being like, I don't know why he'd be let off by the police like that, like that's kind of ridiculous, like why would they just let him out? If then you say, oh, well, it makes sense now, because it's a Trump supporter, people might be like, oh, well, you're just saying that because it's a Trump supporter, now that the story's changed, blah, 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 blah. So it seems that the media may have done this on purpose so that people have the ability to, throw it back in your face like that and say that, oh, yeah, you're just supporting him because it's a Trump supporter. But it really is just a shame that this hysteria has grown, and people think that people are actually Nazis. People think that, there are far more white supremacists and white nationalists than there actually are. Or that they're the only problem. There are black nationalists. I'm going to put a picture up behind me of Black Hitler. Once again, I'm going to try to sneak peek back so you can see his face. Black Hitler, he's terrible. He puts out a bunch of anti-white racist videos, and he has this like little white man slave person who he says he has say things on camera. It's very creepy, like the guy's his pet or something, and no spine. It's sad. So yeah, I think that's basically all I had to say. To recapitulate what I've previously stated, it's crazy what people are doing, how they're trying to justify the use of violence against their opposition in a fascist manner by calling their opposition Nazis, and then saying it's okay to punch Nazis in the face because our grandfather's generation punched Nazis, and you have to stop Nazis from uprising, so you punch them in the face. And it's also crazy that people are so indoctrinated into worldviews that everyone's racist and out to get us, that they on college campuses think that they're seeing KKK meetings happening in their buildings. So that's about all I have to say, and thanks for watching, guys. Those of you who watch this, tune in for more content. The next video is gonna be about a touchy subject, so you're gonna have to keep your jimmies from getting rustled. I'm gonna slap your gyms pretty hard. So, once more, like, share, subscribe, donate to my Patreon, so I can get more green screen and different camera and whatever else. That'll be pretty sweet to make better videos with. And yeah, I will catch you guys on the flippity flop. Don't go and drop dead. Stay alive and come back for more. Have a good one. Peace.